Hey there, everyone. It's the Tuesday evening edition of Weather for Weather Geeks. We're going to take a look at the next couple of days. We're going to take a look at the weekend, and we're going to take a look, of course, at Christmas week in this video and some of the forecasting challenges we have with respect to all of those issues. First things first, let's look back a little bit. First of all, here's our December forecast that we put out. The first version came out around Halloween, and then we tweaked it on November 30th, so a little over 2 weeks ago. It, of course, called for a very warm December across not only where we live, but across most of the northern tier of the U.S. and heading up into southern Canada as well. We called for, in our final December forecast, a +4 in the temperature department compared to average for the month. That's a pretty big number for a month. So that was the forecast. Here has been reality so far through a little over 2 weeks. You can see that the warm areas are pretty much as forecasted across most of the eastern U.S., up into the northern tier of states, and of course into Canada as well. And officially here in Youngstown through 2 weeks, we're at about +10, 10 degrees above average through the first 15 days of the month. Now, when you talk about +10, that's not just the highs. That's when you factor in the highs and the lows as well. So a +10 so far. So ultimately, our +4 probably not going to be warm enough. I think we'll probably end the month somewhere between +5 and +9 in the temperature department, because we've got more warmth coming tomorrow and then next week. And then in between those two things, of course, we have a cool down coming up. Well, speaking of a cool down, we're not back to average, but it is noticeably chillier out there this evening in the 7 o'clock hour, 43 in Youngstown, 44 Pittsburgh, 42 degrees in Cleveland early on this evening. Once again, pretty cold out west. There's a lot of teens and 20s out here where snow is ongoing this evening from Denver on north and east. That's where the cold air is. Futurecast temperatures, all right. Mentioned the warm-up tomorrow. I think we start out in the upper 30s. Tomorrow, I think these numbers on the RPM model here are a little conservative. I think a lot of places could see 55, 56 degrees with an increase in sunshine for tomorrow. We'll stay mild through tomorrow night. Thursday might be a backwards day. We start out warm and rainy, and then as the colder air wraps in, temperatures may actually fall Thursday afternoon, and pretty quick tumble down into the 30s then. For Thursday night, that's going to set the stage for a couple of legitimately cold December days, Friday and into Saturday. So here's how things should progress. We'll start tomorrow morning with clouds here at about daybreak, but then I think the sun does break out by lunchtime or so. Beautiful afternoon tomorrow. It's not going to be bright and sunny in the afternoon. There'll be some high clouds pushing in from the west, but it'll still be brighter than the start of the day, that is for sure. And again, temperatures rebound nicely. This next front then comes in tomorrow night. Could see showers as early as 1 or 2 in the morning. Some showers off and on through the morning on Thursday. I think a lot of this is weighted towards the morning and midday. You know, as you can see here by noon, we might still be hanging on to a little residual moisture. We'll probably sound the all clear by mid-afternoon though, and then the rest of Thursday should be uneventful. This next front is the true Arctic front, and that's what's going to spark some flurries before Friday is through, and the lake effect snow machine is going to start kicking in as well by the end of the day Friday into Saturday as we start getting into this northwest flow off the lakes. We're going to start to see the snow piling up. As far as the rain goes with our system Wednesday night into Thursday, here's the model's output as far as rainfall totals. Kind of clustered generally between about 0.15 and 0.30 with the RPM a little higher, Canadian a little lower. So maybe a quarter of an inch on average as far as the rainfall totals late Wednesday night into Thursday. And then as far as the snow here, this is the GFS model's depiction of things. And as is typical with lake effect, this is probably dramatically underdone in the traditional snow belts this far out. It'll start to get a clue as we get closer. But while it might have the area right, it's showing, you know, kind of 3 to 5 inches. This could be more like 5 to 12 locally in the traditional areas that typically get a lot of lake effect snow in these types of setups with the wind going from northwest to the west. Erie will do okay. Chautauqua and Cattaraugus counties in New York will do really well out of this. Someone could get a foot worth of snow. Locally, in our viewing area, as is typical of these types of lake effect outbreaks, not looking for much. Maybe someone in northern Trumbull and maybe northeastern Mercer gets a couple inches, enough to shovel. But for most of us, this is just some mood snow, some flurries for Friday and into Saturday. And here's our northwest flow on Saturday. This is going to quickly become a southwest flow by Sunday, though, as an area of high pressure, which is down here around Raleigh, North Carolina, that starts shifting south and east. Our wind direction is going to come back around to the southwest, warming us up to about 40 or lower 40s on Sunday. Nice day with a mix of sun and clouds. And as we go into next week, the big story is going to become the warmth, but also I think it's going to be kind of a rainy week leading up to Christmas. Here's the first little front pushing through on Monday with a pretty good chance for some showers that day. That rolls through. There's no temperature change really with that front, just a band of showers. Then the warmth really is going to start building in as we go into midweek. Now here's the GFS on Wednesday. This is 2 days before Christmas. It'll be a busy travel day for sure. Got a strong area of low pressure out across the middle of the country. Look at all these isobars. It's going to turn breezy. This is a strong southerly flow. Temperatures are going to really start warming. And then as we get towards Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, the models really start diverging on the timing of this next system. And it has big implications for our Christmas forecast, that's for sure. Here's Wednesday afternoon on the GFS, warm and perhaps rainy. European, kind of similar. A lot of moisture around. Probably a pretty rainy day coming up on Wednesday, the 23rd. Then as we go into Christmas Eve, here's the GFS on Christmas Eve early in the afternoon, showing a cold frontal passage about to take place with more showers. The actual front is probably kind of like this on the GFS on midday or so on Christmas Eve. Now the European, this is when the European starts putting the brakes on things and has no such front pushing through on Christmas Eve, suggesting it's a largely dry day and very toasty as well. And then on Christmas Day, Christmas Day is Friday. Christmas Day itself, here's the European, and if you took this literally, there's basically like a warm front in through here with a low out in the middle of the country, and this is still a warm day on Christmas on the European model. The GFS, though, pushes the cold air through and would suggest that this is a brisk, chilly Christmas day. Not cold, but chilly, with clouds and limited sunshine. So there's a big difference in the modeling right now. I suspect the truth is somewhere in between. It's not going to be as cold as the GFS, but maybe not as warm as the European model. Here's a look at the models as far as the temperatures go. I'll skip ahead here to the middle of next week. Here's the GFS showing the 23rd, very warm. Rainy probably, but we could make a run at 60 or so on the GFS on the 23rd on Wednesday. And still very warm on Christmas Eve. The GFS has us pushing 60 again on Christmas Eve, but then the GFS blasts the front through and would suggest that Christmas Day, again, not freezing cold or anything, but maybe 40 or so on Christmas Day. That's definitely a different song than we've been singing for Christmas Day. We've been talking about possible record warmth on Christmas Day. That's the GFS. Now, the European, of course, has different ideas around Christmas Day. Not pushing that front through. Here's Christmas Eve, again, 50s to around 60. And then on Christmas Day, it brings the warmth right back in and suggests we could be in the 50s to maybe even pushing 60 on Christmas Day. So there's a big difference in the modeling for the holiday. We, of course, will be fine-tuning this forecast as we get closer. Just wanted to bring you up to speed on what the current models are doing. 8-10 days out. Don't take everything literally. What on these maps, there's going to be compromises. Again, I think the truth is probably somewhere in between. It's going to be a mild Christmas Day. It may not be in the 50s to around 60, but it's probably not in the 20s either. It's probably not even in the 30s. It might be in the 40s or something like that. Still balmy by Christmas standards. Much more, of course, on future editions, Weather for Weather Geeks, and my morning weather briefings on my weather blog, ericwfmj.com. I'll see you tonight on 21 News at 11 with your 7-day forecast. Have a great evening.